uno más. Dustin Poirier will give us one last fight, and he starts to kind of give us hints on X. So let's talk about who could it be, when could it be that he has his last fight in this video. Hello and welcome to Bloodsport MMA.
Salam alaikum, my brother.
Dustin P-Head Diamond Poirier will have his last dance in MMA in 2025. At least that's the plan. Now, who is it against? That's the big question, because if you look at the roster, Dustin kind of fought everyone already, and you have to think that it won't be a contender fight because he will have one last fight. Why fight a contender fight if you have one last fight? It must be a kind of super fight, right? So what makes sense? Someone posted on X, stop ducking Fiziev. Obviously he's not fighting Fiziev because Dustin reposted it, that's why I talk about it, but obviously that fight makes no sense because legacy-wise there's nothing there. It's not a mega fight, not a super fight, no one will care, or only the hardcore fans. From a contender perspective, it would make sense, but he's not a contender anymore, right? He posted, I'm coming, brother. Several times, something like, I'm coming, brother. For a second, I thought about Tony Ferguson because of, hold on, I'm talking, brother. But obviously he's not fighting Tony Ferguson. I mean, come on, that makes no sense. I don't even think Tony will ever get a fight again in the UFC, but who knows. The other thing that is pretty far-fetched for me now, but the way he writes brother makes me think of Max Holloway. Max Holloway always talks like that, brother, what's up, brother? And Max Holloway is still the BMF champion. Max Holloway is coming off a loss, so he won't fight for any title in his next fight. And he has no opponent. Who has fought for the BMF title before and lost? Dustin Poirier. Who beat Max Holloway twice? Dustin Poirier. Who wants revenge for the BMF belt? Dustin Poirier. Who wants revenge for 2 losses? Max Holloway. Who just moved up to 155? Max Holloway. So in my opinion, this is the fight that I see most for Poirier. But on the other hand, you have to think, the UFC does not give you a title fight if it's your retirement fight. That doesn't happen. Why would they do that? It makes no sense. Unless they want to retire or vacate the BMF belt and maybe move it to another division or something. It depends on what the plan behind it is. But that's the only reason why I say I'm not sure about that, because that would be kind of weird to make it a title fight for his last fight. But it would also be cool in a way, and it would be deserved for a guy like Dustin Poirier, right? So that is my best guess for now. But then he posted that he announces something soon. There will be blood is what he wrote, plus a lot of dick emojis. The dick emojis make me think of Conor McGregor.
What?
Why? Because
why are you gay?
If you remember the press conference for the last Conor Poirier fight, they fought 3 times. By the way, one time Poirier won, one time Conor won, and one time, in my opinion, no one won because Conor broke his leg. You can talk about Poirier being the reason for it, but come on. It was a stress fracture that he had before the fight, and yeah, it makes no sense. But Poirier was winning that fight in the first round, yeah. But anyways, so they have history, they want to fight. And why I think it's Conor because of the dick things is, in their last fight in the press conference, Poirier said this and Conor answered this.
Throwing dick kicks this time. Yeah, shut your mouth, you little fool. I'm gonna dance on your head.
That's why I thought that he maybe means Conor. Maybe he's talking about Conor, right? But who knows? There will be blood. I don't see any consolation with that. Maybe it made me think a little bit of a BMF tournament that was talked about with, I think, Chandler, Gaethje, Poirier, and Holloway, something like that, which would be badass, which would be crazy and very fun, right? Everyone would tune in for that. And Dana even said he likes the idea, but I just don't think you can do that with the commission and everything in one night. The winner will have 2 fights, or yeah, the winner in the second place will have 2 fights in one night, and violent fights, you know what I mean? Those are 4 guys that normally don't just one-punch knockout someone. It's normally a grueling fight, right? So I'm not sure if this will ever happen, but maybe, who knows? And the Conor fight is just, it would make a lot of sense in terms of it's a last fight that has no real meaning for the UFC with a belt or something, but it's still kind of unfinished business that they have and they don't like each other and the fight sells a lot and Dustin maybe even gets pay-per-view points for that. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of reasoning that that fight could be the one that's happening. But on the other hand as well, it's like, will Conor really ever fight again? And will he really fight soon enough that Poirier would be down for it? Because I don't think Poirier wants to wait that long. Poirier wants to finally have a date where he can end his career on a big stage. And yeah, the other big reason why I don't think this is happening, why I really don't think it's happening, is because Dana said several times that if Conor comes back, he has to fight Chandler. Chandler said 700 million times that if Conor's come back, Conor's way back is going through National Tennessee. He said it like 700,000 times that if Conor comes back, he has to fight him. Conor McGregor! Because of contractual obligations and whatnot. And even Conor himself recently said that if he comes back, when he comes back, because he never says if I come back, he always talks that he comes back, he fights Michael Chandler. So I don't really think that fight's gonna happen. Maybe Nate Diaz, there will be blood. Diaz always bleeds. Nate versus Diaz was once scheduled but never happened. It's a fight that Poirier always wanted. Right? He always wanted that fight. Maybe this fight. Who knows? Because Diaz always said he will come back to the UFC. Dana said that Nate will always have a place in the UFC. Even though I don't know if I want to see that fight with 40-year-old Diaz. But who knows? There will be blood, but what would be Diaz with the dick emojis? I don't know if did Diaz send Poirier nudes or something? I don't know.
That's gross.
No idea, but those are my best guesses. My number one guess is Max Holloway. Makes the most sense. Number two guess is Conor McGregor. Number three, I would say Nate Diaz, and number four, BMF tournament. Those are my four guesses with the list. One for most likely, four for least likely, but those four are all possibilities in my opinion. The rest, also a Gaethje rematch, I don't really see it, or a trilogy, I don't really see it, even though it would make sense from the standpoint that both are at the end of their careers, but if there's nothing really on the line, yeah, maybe you can say there is a trilogy on the line, right? Like, oh, they're 1-on-1. It's a possibility, but I'm not sure if that's gonna happen. My best guess still is Max Holloway for the BMF belt. What is your best guess, your prediction? Who will Poirier fight and when? Write in the comments, you guys. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate that. It's one click, means a lot. Also check out the Bloodsport merch, bloodshop.net. The link is in the bio. Best merch in the MMA business. Trust me, check it out. Very cool pieces. You will like it. Stay bloody, and until the next one, bye-bye. Bloodsport out.